If you have a 1963 Liberty Jefferson nickel lying somewhere in your drawer, wallet, or old coin jar, it might just be worth far more than 5 cents. In fact, this little coin could turn the tables for you. Many collectors have no idea that the 1963 Jefferson nickel, depending on its mint mark, condition, and minting errors, can fetch hundreds, even thousands of dollars today. So stick around till the end of this video, because I'll tell you how much these coins are really selling for according to eBay, auction houses, and other online platforms, and how you can sell yours too. The 1963 Jefferson nickel carries a design that has become a classic in American coinage. The obverse features the portrait of Thomas Jefferson, while the reverse showcases his beautiful home, Monticello, designed by Felix Schlag in 1938. This coin's simple yet elegant look captures the dignity of one of America's founding fathers. But it's not just about history. What makes the 1963 nickel special today is how certain versions and conditions of it have become highly sought after by collectors. The 1963 nickel was minted in two main locations: the Philadelphia Mint, which produced coins with no mint mark, and the Denver Mint, which used the D-mint mark. Together, both mints struck hundreds of millions of coins. But not all of them were equal. The Philadelphia coins had softs, finding one with sharp, crisp steps on the reverse, known as full steps, is the ultimate prize for Jefferson nickel collectors. On eBay and other major online platforms, regular circulated 1963 nickels might only be worth face value. But the story changes dramatically for uncirculated and proof coins. Proof nickels from the Philadelphia Mint, produced exclusively for collectors, were made with mirror-like finishes and can sell for anywhere between $10 and $100 depending on their grade. A perfect proof coin graded PR70 can even sell for over $200. Meanwhile, high-grade 1963D nickels with full steps have reached astonishing prices at auctions, some selling for more than $2,000. The Jefferson nickel series is also known for its fascinating mint errors, off-center strikes, die cracks, and repunched mint marks. For example, a 1963D nickel with a double die obverse has fetched over $400 online. Another rare example with a strong off-center strike sold for nearly $800 in an online auction. Even smaller die breaks or planchet errors can turn an ordinary coin into a valuable collectible. One reason these nickels are gaining renewed interest is their age and historical significance. The 1963 Jefferson nickel represents the end of an era just before the 1964 coinage boom. There's a small nickel that many people have in their old change jars, but only a few know it could actually be worth a small fortune. Yes, we are talking about the 1970 Liberty Jefferson nickel. If you have this coin lying around, it might just turn the tables for you. Stick around till the end of this video to know its true value and how you can sell it for thousands of dollars. The 1970 Jefferson nickel carries more history and mystery than most people realize. Struck during a period of economic shifts and coinage evolution, this nickel marks the tail end of the silver era mindset. Although composed of copper and nickel, some of these coins turned out to be far from ordinary. The coin features the familiar portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, with the word Liberty inscribed. In his own handwriting, a beautiful nod to America's founding ideals. On the reverse, Monticello Jefferson's grand estate stands proudly, representing his vision, intellect, and architectural genius. But here's where things get interesting. The 1970 Jefferson nickel wasn't just another coin, it came in multiple mint variations. You might find it with mint marks like D for Denver or S for San Francisco, and each of these has its own story and value. In fact, collectors pay close attention to small differences such as weak strikes, full steps on Monticello, or even die errors that can multiply a coin's value dramatically. Now, here's the part most people miss. A 1970 Jefferson nickel with full steps detail on Monticello can sell for thousands of dollars on platforms like eBay, heritage auctions, and great collections. One such example recently fetched over $4,000. simply because it was preserved in excellent condition. Another specimen graded by PCGS at MS67 sold for more than $2,500. Proof that condition is everything in numismatics. Even circulated examples, if they display unique die cracks or off-center strikes, can command prices far beyond their face value. The rarity factor grows even higher when you consider proof coins struck at the San Francisco Mint. These proof nickels, with their mirror-like surfaces and deep cameo contrast, are a collector's dream. Some rare varieties from the 1970S series include the large S and small S mint mark versions, subtle differences that can mean a major boost in price. Beyond the market, the 1970 nickel also represents a turning point in design, quality and mint precision. The US Mint was modernizing production, introducing new methods to maintain consistency. But despite these efforts, a few error coins escaped the press's double dies, clipped planchets and overstrikes that now rank among the most desired pieces in the Jefferson Nickel Collection. Collectors on eBay often search for keywords like 1970 Jefferson Nickel full steps, 1970S proof nickel, or 1970D error coin. If your coin fits any of these descriptions, it's time to take a closer look. Even an average-looking coin might surprise you. Have you ever checked your pocket change and wondered if one of those old nickels could make you rich? Well, the 1986 Jefferson nickel might just do that for you. This seemingly ordinary 5-cent coin has surprised collectors with rare varieties that are fetching impressive prices on eBay and in major coin auctions. If you own a 1986 Jefferson nickel, this video might just turn the tables for you. Stick around till the end, because I'll share how much these coins are selling for online and how you can cash in on yours. Let's dive into the fascinating story of this coin. The 1986 Jefferson nickel was struck at two mints, Philadelphia, with no mint mark, and Denver, with a small D mark under the date. Over 1.1 billion nickels were produced that year, making it a very common coin in circulation. However, what makes some of these coins special are the rare errors and die varieties that slipped through the minting process unnoticed. These rare mistakes are what collectors hunt for, and they can raise the value of a simple nickel to hundreds or even thousands of dollars. The Jefferson Nickel series, which began in 1938, has been one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history. By 1986, the design had already seen decades of circulation and subtle changes. The obverse features a detailed portrait of Thomas Jefferson, designed by Felix Schlag, while the reverse displays his famous home, Monticello. But over the years, slight differences in strike quality, die wear, and mint errors have created versions of the 1986 nickel that are now highly desirable among numismatists. Collectors have discovered several varieties that make this coin valuable. One of the most notable is the double die obverse, where Jefferson's face or the inscriptions like "Iron God We Trust" appear slightly doubled. This doubling happens when the die used to strike the coin shifts slightly during production. If you spot one of these, you might be holding a rare and valuable error. Another sought-after variety is the full steps designation on the Monticello building. When the lines of the steps on Monticello are sharp and fully visible, the coin is considered to have an exceptionally strong strike. These coins are often graded highly and can sell for significant amounts, especially when they're in mint state condition. Collectors pay a premium for full steps nickels because they're hard to find due to weak strikes in that era. Now, let's talk about actual prices. On eBay and other online marketplaces, most circulated 1986 Jefferson nickels sell for around 10 to 50 cents. However, coins that are uncirculated and have the full steps designation can sell for $20 to $200 depending on their grade. Some rare graded examples like MS67 full steps certified by PCGS or NGC have sold for well over $1,000 at auction. In fact, one of the highest recorded prices for a 1986 D Jefferson nickel in MS67 Have you ever checked your change and thought one of those old nickels might be worth a fortune? Well, the 1964 Jefferson nickel could be that very coin. Believe it or not, this little 5-cent piece has shocked collectors around the world with its hidden value. Some have sold for hundreds, even thousands, of dollars online. If you own a 1964 Jefferson nickel, this video might just turn the tables for you. Stick around till the end, because I'll reveal how much they're selling for and how you can turn yours into serious money. The 1964 Jefferson nickel is one of the most common coins ever struck by the U.S. Mint. Over 2.8 billion were produced between the Philadelphia and Denver mints, making it the highest mintage year for the entire Jefferson nickel series. The reason for such a massive production was the coin shortage America experienced in the early 1960s. To keep coins circulating, the mint worked overtime, and 1964 became the final year that nickels bore the familiar mint marks before they were temporarily removed in 1965. The obverse of the coin features Thomas Jefferson, designed by Felix Schlag, while the reverse proudly displays his home, Monticello. At first glance it looks like any other nickel you might find in your pocket, but the value lies in its condition, mint mark, and rare varieties that slipped through the mint's quality control. One of the key things collectors look for in the 1964 Jefferson nickel is the full steps variety. On the reverse, if you can clearly see all 6 steps of Monticello without breaks or fading, you might have something very valuable. Because the mint's striking pressure was often weak that year, very few nickels show complete steps. Those that do are labeled full steps by professional grading companies like PCGS or NGC, and they can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on grade. Another factor that makes the 1964 nickel interesting is the existence of several die varieties and minting errors. One of the most famous is the double die obverse, where you can notice slight doubling. In the words "Iron God We Trust" or Liberty, coins with this error are rare and highly sought after by collectors. There are also off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and repunched mint marks, especially the D over D varieties on the Denver coins. Each of these can significantly raise the coin's value. Now, let's talk about what these nickels are actually selling for on eBay and other online platforms. Most circulated 1964 Jefferson nickels are worth between 10 and 25 cents. However, if your coin is in uncirculated or mint state condition, prices rise dramatically. A regular uncirculated 1964 nickel might sell for $5 to $15, but if it has the full steps designation, the value can jump to $200 or more. Some top-graded examples have fetched incredible prices at auction. For instance, a 1964 D Jefferson nickel graded MS67 full steps, the 1993 Liberty 5-cent, better known as the Jefferson nickel, might not look like much at first glance. It features the classic portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his famous home, Monticello, on the reverse, though it was struck in huge quantities by the U.S. Mint. Not all 1993 nickels are the same, and that's where things get interesting for collectors and sellers. This coin was minted in 3 major facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia mint coins have no mint mark. Denver coins carry the letter D, and the San Francisco coins bear the S mark, mostly produced as proofs for collectors. Each type can have very different values, especially when condition and rarity come into play. While millions of 1993 nickels circulate daily, what sets the valuable ones apart are their pristine condition and minting errors. A regular 1993 nickel in average condition might be worth just face value, but a coin that remains in perfect mint state, especially one graded MS66 or higher by PCGS or NGC, can command a serious premium. High-grade examples have fetched between $20 and $60, while the rare proof coins from San Francisco have sold for over $100 in certified Conditions, but the real excitement. Comes with Era coins. A 1993 Liberty 5-cent featuring a double die. Off-center strike or clipped planchette can skyrocket in price. On eBay and similar platforms, such Era nickels have sold anywhere from $200 to over $1,500, depending on the clarity and condition of the Era. For instance, one 1993D nickel with a strong double die, Era on the obverse, sold for nearly $1,000 in a graded state, while another with a broad strike Era sold for over $600. Collectors are also paying attention to nickels that display full steps on Monticello. This detail refers to the number of complete steps visible at the base of Jefferson's home on the reverse side. A coin showing 5 or 6 full sharp steps means it was struck with great precision and has minimal wear. Such coins are incredibly sought after and can multiply a coin's value instantly. A 1993 Jefferson nickel with full steps and a high mint state grade can bring anywhere between $500 and $2,000 in auctions, according to current listings on eBay. A simple 1993 nickel in uncirculated condition can sell for $10 to $25, while proof versions go for $40 to $100. However, certified full step or Era varieties have proven to be far more valuable. Online auction platforms like Heritage Auctions and Great Collections have reported prices exceeding $2,500 for coins with unique strike characteristics and flawless surfaces. What makes the 1993 Liberty 5-cent particularly interesting is that it represents a transitional period in U.S. coinage, a time when quality control was improving, yet occasional mint errors still occurred, producing a handful